Call Atiku Abubakar, the former Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, the architect and father of contemporary politics in Nigeria, and you will not be wrong. Without equivocation or the fear of being contradicted, many share the belief and conviction that Atiku Abubakar is the greatest contemporary politician in the history of Nigeria. That is why the history of Nigeria's political emancipation will be incomplete if the name Atiku Abubakar did not feature prominently in it.
My dream for Nigeria is to see a united, prosperous Nigeria, because it is going to be a great nation in Africa and a great nation in the world.
Atiku Abubakar, the Turakin Adamawa, otherwise called the cat with many lives in political circles, is currently the most formidable political force in Nigeria.
I have decided to remain in politics until I die.
Atiku Abubakar has established a reputation of surmounting the obstacles which the mercurial and murky games of politics has thrown at him over the years.
What you see is what you get. Is simplicity, humility, and loyalty. Devotion to his cause, devotion to the Constitution, and devotion to the rule of law.
Politics itself is a career. There is nothing bad if you want to make politics as a career. But then at the same time, you also have to have a dividing line between your career path and also your sustenance path. To sustain yourself and sustain your family, you have to be able to do two things. First, you have to have a business that will bring you income. With or without politics, you will be able to take care of your responsibilities, as a family man or whatever it is if you decide to be single. But you cannot say that politics should be a source of income for you. And politics is for service. So I think there is need for young men or young women who want to pursue a career in politics to make sure that they don't try to mix the two. You must have a means of sustenance, and then if you want also, you can also have your political career alongside, your business or whatever you want to do. But for you to say that politics is your career and at the same time the means of earning a livelihood is wrong. Very wrong. That makes for a corrupt politician. Yeah. And corruption is one of our most, serious challenges we have in this country.
The Turaki, as his vast followers fondly called him, has carved a niche for himself as the strongest, most reliable and invincible political force in Nigeria, with a reputation of swimming against the tide and surviving.
It is about Nigeria, the existence of Nigeria and the people. It is no longer about an ambition again. We have got to a stage where I told you that it is no longer about, you have an ambition if the environment permits. The environment does not even permit for that. So you have to restore normalcy, to the environment first before you begin to think about ambition. Because if you allow your ambition to override it, you will find that you don't even exist.
Turaki is a man who was best defined by the apt Hausa proverb, Boka mai da manka. Kaina ka kaina rago kuma ka raka shi da sadaka. Meaning, you have accomplished your task, accomplished that of a lazy man, and yet you compensate him bountifully with arms. Over the years, Atiku Abubakar has proven his mettle and gallantry in neutralizing leviathan political currents due to a sheer dose of courage, his propensity to accept his destiny in good faith, and most importantly, his readiness to fight his wars to the finish. these compelling leadership attributes and the strong character traits in Atiku Abubakar were responsible for his survival in the political waters of Nigeria. Otherwise, his strong political enemies would have rendered him a political eunuch a long time ago. Atiku Abubakar has made himself not only a force to reckon with in the political permutations of Nigeria, but a rallying point without which Nigerian politics would have gone rudderless.
And when you see the crowd around him, the mixture is amazing. There's hardly any ethnic group that's not present around him.
And for you to be admired by the various segments of the citizens of this country, the secret that he has to touch.
The type of leader that Nigeria needs is somebody who will unite the people together. I believe strongly that Atiku Abubakar is that type of leader. So he has so many friends everywhere, among the Christians, among the Muslims, and also outside.
He's a very strong man, very determined man, a very focused man, and someone who is patriotic in his service to the nation.
A good leader is the one who is able to delegate functions and is able to use the intellect of those around him to arrive at a just decision. The experience I've had with Atiku, at least in the Economic Council meeting, it was very firm, fair, and open-minded.
Atiku Abubakar is a man of the people. He's a sincere person.
You are going to change Nigeria for progressiveness. You understand? Yes. Make sure you protect your votes. These your votes are your future.
Atiku's unique standing and comportment as the most accomplished politician cannot be disputed, because here is a man who remained standing when others have fallen. A politician that gives to the society when others are busy stealing from the society. A politician whose popularity is ascending due to his uncommon benevolence when the reputation of his contemporaries is waning. Atiku Abubakar is a master strategist, a personification of hard work, a thoroughbred politician, a respecter of the rule of law, and a philanthropist by excellence. As such, he has remained the people's political hero of all times. In Atiku Abubakar, Adamawa State has a man of valor and candor, spiced by courage and the conviction to suppress anarchy and feudalism, and yet his dose of sympathy for the less privileged and the downtrodden is legendary.
Adamawa State is a rural state. It has one of the lowest poverty rates in the country. I mean, so if I don't cite my businesses in Adamawa to provide employment, where else will I cite them? So I have no regret, even if they don't bring in money at the moment, but at least I know I provide employment and I provide a means of advancement in terms of communication, in terms of entertainment, and so on and so forth.
Atiku's most cherished value lies in his ability to give out to others without hesitation or looking back. Through this singular act of philanthropy, thousands of people within Adamawa and beyond were empowered to the point of becoming masters in their own rights. Coupled with that is his uncommon thirst to provide job opportunities to the teeming youth population across the length and breadth of Nigeria, especially in his state, through his multi-purpose and multi-dimensional investments. For instance, in Adamawa State, Atiku Abubakar is the highest employer of labor next to the state government and has brought succor to the faces of Adamawa's famished citizens, whose hopes were almost dashed by the blunt and nonchalant approach of the previous administrations towards job creation in the state. The concomitant ripples of such massive investments have significantly turned around the economy of the largely civil service state, especially the state capital. It has become noticeable in recent times, especially in the state capital, that massive investments in the housing and commercial subsector are being made by businessmen to accommodate the influx of the teeming population that earn a living from Atiku's investments in Yola.
If you want to build an industry in any part of Nigeria, you have to provide your own water, you have to provide your own light, power, you have to provide almost everything. The only thing you may not be able to provide is the road, the haulage system. You can't provide road for yourself, you can't provide railway for yourself, but I think they look at investing in Adamawa as a risk. And generally, business decisions are based on risk. If you are not prepared to take risk in business, then you are not likely to succeed. I want to say that I have taken risks in setting up a number of businesses in this state, but I'm not regretting, because the returns of investment on most of them is extremely good. There is none of the business I have set up in this state that is not making money, except if it is not a money-making business. Like Gotel Communications is not a money-making business for now, and I do realize that it may take time. It's a long-term investment, maybe another 10 years, 15 years before you think about return of investments on Gotel Communications. Also, the American University is a non-profit making organization. So it's also not in the true sense of it motivated by business. So, but in other business, outfits I have here, like the Adama Plast, we can't even cope with demand of plastic products from the northeast, from Cameroon, from Chad. We can't even cope. So it's paying. And Faro, returns of investment, good, inshallah. So I think maybe they're scared of taking a risk. I'm not scared of taking a risk.
Good planner, a strategist, a very composed person, a person that is always full of hope and full of optimism.
Even the paramount ruler of the Kombina Kingdom, His Royal Highness Alhaji Muhammadu Barkindo Ali Mustafa, PhD, has showered on the Turakin Adamawa, one of his illustrious subjects, praises for bringing so much development to the famous Modibo Adama Kingdom. Another glaring leadership quality amply possessed by Turaki is his forgiving spirit, which he has extended to enemies, rivals and even traitors. Equally in this respect, mention must be made to the travails Atiku went through in the hands of his former boss during their second term in office. Despite the hatred, repression and subjugation the Turaki went through, he found it expedient to forgive his boss and even paid him a courtesy visit at his otter farms, displaying an attitude very rare in the present time political climate.
As Vice President of Nigeria from 1999 to 2007, I worked closely with my boss, President Olusegun Obasanjo, who is also a passionate defender of Nigerian unity. First, we reintegrated our country into the international community following years of isolation. We professionalized our armed forces. We embarked on fundamental economic reforms articulated by an economic team, which I had the honor to chair. We focused on macroeconomic stability and transforming critical areas such as banking, insurance, oil and gas, telecommunication, pension, and the civil service. We created novel institutions that should lay the foundation for good governance and accountability, such as Bureau of Procurement, which was called Due Process, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Servicom, whose golden rule is, I quote, serve others as you would like to be served, unquote. Sadly, most of these institutions are now mere shadows of themselves. We also paid off nearly all of our foreign debt, which was crippling the country. We stabilized the exchange rate of the naira as well as interest rates and reduced inflation. What needed to follow was for these macroeconomic gains to be further translated into improved welfare for our people. With the reforms in the telecommunications sector, we increased the number of functioning telephone lines from only 200,000 at the inception of our administration to over 70 million by the time we left. Our reforms also led to an increase in the market capitalization of the Nigerian Stock Exchange from 400 billion to over 8 trillion by 2007 and to nearly 13 trillion by 2008. We also handed over well-articulated master plans for the development of multimodal transportation system, including a contract for the modernization of the railways. We also commenced the implementation of the gas power master plan with a target of 26,000 megawatts of electricity expected to be delivered by 2015. This is the story of an administration which I am proud to have been part of. These achievements were made possible because of the vision, commitment, and dedication of leadership. Good leadership is what it takes to make good things happen.
Atiku has equally showcases a rare gesture in accommodating his runaway political minions, who deemed it convenient to ditch him during his trying times, with some openly maligning his character and all he stood for, but the kind-hearted Atiku still accommodates them back into his camp.
Honestly, I don't have any personal grudges against any politician.
Atiku's unparalleled magnanimity and kind spirit may be traced to his humble beginning as a child who grew in a rustic village of Jada in Adamawa State and had to grapple with the odds of life. As if that was not enough travails for him, his father and the breadwinner of the family died when Atiku was a toddler, leaving him in the hands of his mother, whom took the challenge of nurturing him. Atiku's poor background must have given him the impetus to succeed in life, because since the Thraki became strong enough to fend for himself, he started life struggles which culminated to the successful man that has become a national icon and a source of inspiration to many.
He's a poor man by origin and by birth, and therefore should understand the problem of poverty, which a president, any leader in this country must understand.
To find it safe to rely on him, to rely on what he's saying and what he's doing.
Ability to chart the course and steer the ship. He understands the problem of this country. He understands the heartbeat of Nigerians.
I think first and foremost, we must make sure that we defend, protect, and sustain democratic governance in this country.
He is the ultimate with golden finger. According to him, the travails he passed through while growing up made him to have unprecedented sympathy for people, and hence his resolve to better their lot. And if given a chance to rule the country, there will be difference.
I would like to see a united, peaceful, stable Nigeria. I would like to see a Nigeria that can utilize its potentials to become one of the greatest countries in the world. I am so. We have all what it takes to make a great nation. I mean, there is no reason why we should not have regular power.
Atiku's wealth of political acumen, influence, and wide network of contacts is equally indisputable. Worthy of mention was the feat he achieved even against dominant political forces in the north. His triumph over political giants, namely General Ibrahim Babangida, General Aliyu Gusau, and former Governor of Kwara State, Bukola Saraki, as the North consensus candidate in the run-up to the 2011 PDP presidential primaries is an eloquent testimony to that feat. The fact that he gave the sitting president a hot chase and ran for his money in the keenly contested PDP presidential primaries, despite the deployment of vast resources and power of incumbency, was another testimony to his wide political network and national acceptability, which is yet another feat achieved by our indomitable Turaki Adamawa.
I want to lead a government that will invest in its people, because people constitute the wealth of any nation. I want to lead a government that will create a Nigeria for all. A Nigeria that is not about North or South, Christian or Muslim, but about a better tomorrow, where every citizen will feel secure, act with patriotism, having assurance of the fulfillment of his or her aspirations. I want to lead a government that will rebuild the institution of governance with zero tolerance for corruption and nepotism, where hard work and dedication are adequately rewarded. And provide the political will and commitment so that jointly and the cooperation of all of you build a Nigeria of our dreams. Nigeria must rise to retake its leadership place in Africa and earn the respect of other nations. This places on us the responsibility of stewardship. It is the consciousness of this national responsibility that has guided my political adventures. And it is this call to serve that I have come to answer once again.
Expectations of Nigerians are being dashed. Hopes are being dashed as well. And I think, like he said, all men of goodwill have a responsibility to really actually rescue this country from its present position. And I therefore believe all men of goodwill should rally down together and make sure this objective is achieved.
Due to the above feats achieved by the Turaki Adamawa, he was celebrated all over the world as a hero that has touched the lives of many, especially the weak and the downtrodden, as a result of which he received much platitudes and acclaims, both in Nigeria and beyond.
As a little boy, growing up in a small village called Jada in northeast Nigeria, I could not have imagined myself standing before you today to receive an honorary doctorate degree from this prestigious school in this city of diplomacy, in this prestigious country. I did have dreams, but I never dreamt of a day like this. When my father was put in jail by local authorities for refusing to let me attend school because he needed my assistance in herding the livestock, it seemed like a harsh punishment. Were he to be alive to witness this day in the last 30 or so years of my life, I'm sure that he would exclaim, "Wow, education pays after all."
I believe he's a man of destiny. And I also believe that that destiny will be fulfilled.
The great Nigerian people, continue to reinvest your faith in this country, your faith in APC, your faith in the leadership of the APC. We present to you today, His Excellency, the man from Adamawa, the man who has helped so many people, the man who wants to serve, the man who wants to serve. That man needs no introduction. He is who? Turaki Adamawa. It is my honor to introduce him.
I see hope in his leadership.
This man can be trusted. I have no hesitation at all in endorsing him as candidate for president for Nigeria. And I can say without any hesitation that Southerners, the area from which I come from, also gave him that kind of endorsement.
Yes, he is the right man. Very much so. Everybody is talking about him.
ado Atiku tirakin Adamawa taimako na halin kwarai a kasan nan